We're at Chew Valley Caravan Park near Bristol, looking at this very latest 2017 model Bailey motorhome, the Autograph 2 in 79.6 form. 79.6, well, that's 7.9 metres long and 6 travel seats, so the model designation is nice and straightforward. This one's got a rear lounge, but you can also have a 79.6G. No prizes for guessing that means a garage, replacing the lounge area at the back, but the rest of the layout is exactly the same. Both models and the other 4 in the range all sit on the latest Euro 6 Peugeot Boxer cab with an Alco ultra low chassis, which explains why this vehicle looks so nice and squat, low to the ground, and it's not too tall overall either, despite the fact it's got TV aerial and a solar panel on the roof. Other changes, well, look at it, it's now all white. The black cab that was a distinctive Bailey thing before, that's gone, and it looks fresher and a lot more modern. New skirts, new graphics, whole new look to it, and especially at the back it's a much improved aesthetic package. These windows are new too, and the Bailey branding is much stronger than before, but construction is still Alutech, and you still get a 6-year body integrity warranty, which you can upgrade to 10 years at extra cost. Now, looking at some of the details, these external lockers, and all the external lockers bar the toilet servicing hatch, have these new catches and new double seals. In this model, you've now got through storage right the way through to a similar hatch on the other side. So whilst it might not be a garage on this particular layout, you have still got plenty of space for all your outdoor gubbins, chairs, barbecue and the like. That's a very good feature for this type of layout. What I'm not so keen on is the wastewater drain, which is very close to the ground, so you can't get a bucket or anything underneath it, and it's still quite a small bore, it's still quite fiddly to use, and will probably be quite slow to drain. You've got these new LED tail lights on the back, but still the mountings for a bike rack. And if you go for the media pack, you've got the integrated reversing camera. Moving back down the side, you've got that other external hatch I mentioned. An external main socket, which is quite an unusual touch. And a new feature, a gas barbecue point. The door is linked to the central locking, and it's still a nice low entrance. Being on the door too. Right, time to go inboard. The only change to actually see in the cab is this new cup holder with a little USB port, but the changes under the skin are more important. You now get a Euro 6 2-litre rather than 2.2 engine of 160 bhp rather than the old 130. So this thing, once it's loosened up, should motor along quite nicely. It's a 850 kilo chassis too, so do make sure that your licence is up to driving a motorhome this big. Now, you'll probably remember that the predecessor to this model, the Autograph 765, was a National Motorhomes Award winner, and that model had storage here, a gas locker on the outside, rather than this extra seat. So the lounge area is quite a bit improved, especially too because you've now got these nice shaped backrests, and on the travel seats, and there's 4 seat belts for rear passengers here, so 6 in total. The rear seats are much more shapely, much more car-like, and for a long journey, 4 people will be much better served here. Of course, the table stores away in Bailey fashion because that's the safest thing to do, and all the work that Bailey did on the previous generations to crash test their seats and prove the safety, outriggers on the chassis and so on, all those features are carried on into this latest generation, so it's likely to be one of the safest motorhomes to travel in. With the media pack that this one's got, you get a TV up over the rear travel seat there. Not perhaps the best position for viewing unless you're actually sitting here. So if this was my van, I'd go for the slightly more expensive media pack plus and have the second telly in the back. The rear lounge is the more comfortable place to actually lounge, so it makes sense that that is where you have your TV. The Pullman dinette still makes up into a lengthways double bed, but whereas the old 765 had a lengthways electric drop-down bed above it, this new model has gone for a transverse bed and it now works manually. Bailey says that's less likely to cause warranty issues, and I have to say this one's very easy to use. You just press this button, keep that pressed in and pull it down, and you can easily put a couple of kids to bed there, and the lounge is still reasonably usable. And of course you've still got the second seating area at the back. In the back here you've got a nice cosy comfy rear lounge, and because Bailey's new Dream Sleep system, which they've previously used on the caravans, doesn't require the backrests to be part of the bed, you do get a more shapely seating area, and at night you just discard these and the squab cushions unfold, so you get a flat bed too, although the mattresses are quite thin. No option to make single beds in the back here because the lounge isn't long enough, but it is a good size transverse double, and it's a nice light area to sit to with good overhead reading lights as well, and speakers in the rear corners. There's a nice touch too in the floor because you step up into this back lounge and there's shoe storage underneath the raised floor. Now, because Baileys are wider than most other motorhomes, you haven't got the very narrow centre gangway between the front and rear lounges that you suffer in a lot of layouts like this, especially when the bathroom is opposite the kitchen. Still got enough room for me to let somebody through when I'm making dinner. Well, I probably wouldn't be making dinner, but there we go. Now, if I was making dinner, I'd be grateful for the extra worktop there, and there's a decent amount of workspace around the sink anyway. Good drawers too, and good that they are drawers rather than cupboards. And in this drawer we find chopping board cover for the sink and this rather flash draining board. Soft close on the drawers, of course. Combined oven and grill, mains hot plate on the hob. Microwave's not too high. And the fridge, now this is really notable for this type of layout, and also because its predecessor model 765 that I've mentioned before, that had a much smaller sort of kitchen worktop height fridge. Now this is a 6-berth motorhome with lots of space, so why have a small fridge? Well, this layout often it's the compromise, and well, Bailey have solved it. They've got a big fridge in here, much more family friendly. I like that feature a lot. On the other side, they've thought about clothing storage too, because the wardrobe's much bigger. My colleague, the cameraman, said he can actually climb in there, so that's a good size wardrobe. And the bathroom's much improved too. You've got a new designery wash basin, decent storage behind the toilet, and a separate shower with bifold door and twin drain holes. You've got the little Audi radiator in there too, because as with the previous autograph, this motorhome has Audi radiator type heating. But the thing I like really about the washroom is that it just all looks a lot more modern, a lot more attractive.